In business with your friend or maybe a romantic partner and it's not going well, how should you break up with them? Should you break up with them? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Jeremy here, back today to talk about if you are in business with a friend or a romantic or even potential romantic partner and it isn't going well, how do you break up with them? So I want to talk about this because from personal experience, I've navigated this twice in my life and I've learned some key things. One situation went very well, one situation did not go so well. And so I just want to talk about these things to help you if you're someone, because I didn't really have anybody to look to when I was navigating this a few years back. So two situations in my life to give you guys context, and maybe this is similar to one of your situations. I'd love to know in the comments so that I can, definitely help you out. My first business my first legal business was a clothing line. The way it worked out is one of my childhood best friends, he had asked me in high school if we wanted to do this. And fast forward a couple years, he called me back up again. He was like, hey, I really want to do this. You're the only person I could think about doing this with. Do you want to do it? And I remember the phone call. I was walking out of Apple at the time where I was working, and I said, hey, let's do this. And so we went into business together. We started making designs and kind of started doing what we thought or knew at least to do at the time to make a business start and grow. There were times where I was doing the majority of the work. There were times where he was doing majority of the work. There were times where we were both doing a lot of the work. There were times where we were both doing nothing. And we were young and we were learning, and through time, we just decided to dissolve it. Me and that friend are still really good friends. We talk almost every single day, at least through DM on Instagram or text or something like that. Everything has ended well. I could see maybe someday down the road we end up picking it back up and doing something similar or different with it. There was no hard feelings. It was just business. It just is. It was what it was. We were young and figuring things out. I appreciate that friendship and that relationship and that time in my life because it taught me so much about partnerships in business and the kind of power dynamic that comes with human interactions and the sort of mental dynamic that comes with bringing a project to life. And so that's scenario number one that I have gone through to give you guys context. The second scenario was a scenario where I was asked by someone to do a podcast. And they said, I've never even at that point in my life expressed that I wanted to do a podcast or even considered it. And this person said that I'm the only person, again, that they could think of doing it with, yada, yada. And so we started going down this route. But in the back of my head, the person who had asked me is someone who I really, really liked. And in fact, when I look back at that situation, I made a lot of decisions because I was so interested in them. And there were times in the interaction where I felt like, hey, this is not going to work with us romantically, so let's just be friends and let's pursue this project. And that's kind of where we ended up. And basically, the second I made that decision, she started really liking me. And so we started creating a romantic relationship together in addition to this business that we were doing or this podcast that we were doing. And so fast forward, there was a dynamic of so much work in our interaction that she felt we weren't doing anything outside of that. And long story short, she decided that this was not the relationship she wanted to be in, and in the same stroke, that this business was not going to work out, that this whole scenario was not going to work out. I'm the sort of person that is, you're going to do what you want to do. That's what I want for you. And so as hurt as I was, I accepted that as a scenario and decided to put one foot in front of the other. That situation impacted my health very negatively. That situation was not one that was enjoyable. There was nothing joyous about that process of the undoing of that in comparison to the first one. Not that I enjoyed that process, but it was just fine. We handled it, right? The second one was a lot more emotional. And so I want to do that to bring you guys some counsel and some wisdom if you're thinking through your situation. If you're someone who's, looking to go into business with someone right now that you're romantically interested in, you may want to hear what I'm saying and handle that a little bit differently. What if you're in business right now with someone, a friend or someone who you're already romantic with, and how do you break up with them? The biggest thing that I can lend to you in the process of figuring this out for yourself is thinking through the communication and the transparency. For me, and in most situations in my life, I create issues by not communicating or by not sorting through how I'm feeling emotionally into words and then communicating those things and being vulnerable enough to share it. And so what I have learned to do in this, later part of my life is just to be more honest with what I'm experiencing and how I'm feeling. And what I've also found from that is that usually the other people don't know that they feel like they're a part of that, or they're causing that, or they don't know that that I'm feeling that way, and so they can handle it differently. We can just get over those humps a lot faster than in previous parts of my life, building them up into things that just end up becoming a huge weight on my shoulders and ends up impacting what we're working on, what we're doing in business. So In the process of thinking through, maybe you're at that point already where you are aware that you need to break up. Maybe your friends are telling you that this business relationship is not going to work. Maybe you feel it instinctually already that this is not the thing for you. What I want for you to do is I want for you to first, I want you to visualize what you're actually wanting from the whole scenario. What's the win on both sides? Do you want for them to be hurt after you bring this to them? Do you want for them to be happy? How do you want for them to feel? What's that feeling you want at the end of this kind of talking through of the breakup? The second thing I want for you to do is I want for you this is for yourself, I want for you to think of the backup plans that you have. This business is very important to you. Maybe it's the only way you're bringing in money. I hope not. But I want for you to think through your backup plan. Maybe it is going and getting a job. Maybe it's working for mom and dad. Maybe it's selling stuff. Maybe it's you got to do what's right for you in your situation. But I want for you to think that through because I want for you to have a safety net to know that everything is going to be okay regardless. The third thing I want for you to do is I want for you to sort through what this conversation is going to look and sound like. And in my opinion, my advice to you is to try to remove all emotion as possible and make it as much as possible about what you are wanting and how you are wanting to direct your energy versus anything the other person is doing, even if they are doing other things. Because when you start getting into that, it starts getting really personal, it starts getting hurtful, and the last thing I want is for you to ruin a relationship or a friendship that could help you someday down the road. You can't help how others are going to react to it, but you can help where you're coming from with all of this. If you can just consider them in this process and consider their feelings and make this a two-way conversation, then you can help them to see where you're coming from and hopefully help them to see that this is nothing personal and maybe even help them see a way for them to help you in this, which is going to be empowering and is going to be something that maybe that person feels like they can, continue to be a part of your journey with. What I want to underscore is that breaking up with a business partner doesn't mean, and nor does it need to be the end of a relationship. I don't have the experience of having a widely successful business with a business partner and then breaking up. So you might be watching this right now and be thinking, what do I do? But I think some of this advice still leans to that. Consider the other person, but also really consider what you want. If you're just hurt at the other person, you got to take the emotion out because any reaction you have to this is going to cause some issues. But if you can pause and you can think about why you're feeling this way and what you're wanting out of it, then maybe you can come from a more rational standpoint and you can communicate that through time or through sitting and marinating on it to figure out how to actually bring it to that person and think it through the right time for it. So if you are in business and you are looking to break up with a business partner, I want to know, did this video help you, or what aspects of that conversation, that transition, are you looking for help with? Leave a comment. I make sure to read and respond to every single one of them and want to help you in your journey. If this is your first time finding me, what's going on, guys? My name is Jeremy, and every day we bring a new video for you to help you in the journey to living the dream and making a profitable living doing what you love. So if you like this video, chances are you're going to like a bunch of other ones. We talk every single day here about leadership, about time management, about peak performance, about visualization and goal setting. So we have tools here for you every single day. And if you really like that and that's ringing a bell, then head over to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe. I share things exclusively on my blog and my email list that I don't share anywhere else. And I give a lot away for free, and I want to make sure that you're getting that and that you're getting those resources as well. Tomorrow, I'll be back with another video in that process of helping you. So subscribe while you're here, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys then. Cheers.